The wind screamed across the broken towers of a dead city. Black clouds rolled in the sky, heavy and cruel. The land below was full of ruins, shattered metal, and dust. Once this place had been alive. Now it was nothing but silence. At the very top of a tall tower stood a girl. Not a human girl, but an alien, slender silver skin that glowed faintly under the dying sun. Her long hair whipped in the wind. Her dark eyes were full of pain, but also fire. She looked down, staring at the deep darkness below. One step forward, and it would all be over. Her heart was heavy, and her hands trembled. She had lost everything. Her family was gone. Her people were broken. Her world had burned. She told herself there was no reason to go on. She told herself that ending it would stop the pain. But still, she waited. Her chest rose and fell, fast, uneven. The air was cold, but her body felt even colder. The tower shook under her feet, small stones falling away into the endless pit below. She closed her eyes. In her mind, she saw flames, falling ships, the screams of her kind. She heard the roars of war, the endless thunder of weapons, the last words of her mother. Her lips moved, whispering a name, but no sound came. She spread her arms as if she were ready to fly. Her body leaned forward just a little, enough to feel the pull of gravity. The emptiness seemed to call her, promise her peace, but then a sound, not the wind, not the falling stones, a voice. Stop. Her eyes snapped open. She froze. The word cut through the storm like a blade. She turned her head, slow, her breath caught in her throat. A figure stood on the broken stairs behind her. A man. Not one, of her kind. His skin was pale, his clothes rough, his face tired. He was human. Her first thought was anger. Humans had brought war. Humans had burned her world. Humans had destroyed her people. And now, one of them stood here, daring to speak. To her, at the end of everything, her eyes narrowed. Why? She whispered, her voice almost lost to the wind. Why should I stop? The man did not move closer, not yet. He lifted one hand, palm open, as if he wanted to show he had no weapon ready. His voice was calm, steady. Because your story is not finished. She felt her chest tighten. What did he mean? How could he say such a thing? He did not know her. He did not know the pain inside her. Her legs shook. She wanted to laugh, to scream, to fall. It does not matter, she said bitterly. There is nothing left. My world is gone. My people are dead. I am nothing. The man's eyes did not leave hers. His face was hard, but there was something in his gaze, something she did not expect. Not hate, not cruelty, but strength. You are alive, he said. That means everything. The girl's lips parted, but no words came. For a long moment, the storm seemed to stop. Only the two of them remained, standing on the tower, caught between despair and something else, something she could not name yet. Her body was still leaning forward, her toes almost slipping off the edge. But her mind, for the first time, paused. His words echoed in her head. Your story is not finished, and for the first time since the war, since the flames, since the death of her people. She hesitated. The alien girl's body trembled on the tower's edge. The cold stone beneath her feet felt like knives, but her heart was colder. She wanted silence. She wanted the pain to end. Yet, that single word had stopped her. Stop. It was a human, voicing steady, low, carrying across the broken air. Her head turned slowly. She saw him clearly now. A man, standing just a few steps back on the cracked stairs. His clothes were torn, his boots covered in dust. He looked like a soldier, but not like the others she had seen in war. His armor was light, almost broken. His weapon hung at his side, but was not raised. His face? It was tired, scarred. But his eyes were alive. Those eyes watched her carefully, like she was a flame that might go out at any moment. Her jaw tightened. Hatred rose in her chest. This was a human. The same kind that had burned her home, the same kind that had laughed as her people screamed. How dare he tell her to stop? How dare he pretend to care? Her voice cracked, sharp as broken glass. Why? Why should I stop? The human did not rush toward her. He did not shout. He lifted, one hand slowly, palm open, showing her empty fingers. His body was calm, balanced as if every move was chosen with care. Because this is not where it ends, he said. The words made her heart twist. She almost laughed. Not where it ends? She spat. Look around you, human. Everything has ended. My city is ash. My people are ghosts. My life is nothing but pain. How can you say it is not the end? The human stepped forward, just one careful step, keeping distance between them. His voice stayed calm, but there was weight in every word. Because you are still here. You are still breathing. That means it is not over. Not yet. The wind howled between them. Stones cracked under her feet. She could feel the pull of gravity begging her to let go. But his voice held her still. Her chest rose and fell quickly, anger fighting sorrow inside her. You do not understand, she hissed. You destroyed everything. Humans destroyed us. Why should I listen to you? For a moment, his jaw clenched. His eyes darkened, shadows of memory crossing his face. Then, slowly, he spoke. You think? I don't understand. I saw worlds burn. I lost brothers, friends, family. I buried them with my own hands. War steals everything from us. Human, alien, it doesn't matter. She blinked, surprised by the pain in his voice. It was not fake. Not empty. It was real. She could feel it. But her anger burned still. She shook her head. Then why are you here? Why speak to me? Do you want to mock me before I fall? The human let out a slow breath. The wind tugged at his torn jacket, but his voice did not shake. No. I am here because I saw you. And I could not walk away. Her throat tightened. She wanted to shout, to curse him, to tell him he was lying. But her voice broke. Why? Why should it matter to you if I fall? His eyes held hers, steady as stone. Because you are not nothing. Because somewhere someone's story ends if yours ends. You don't see it yet, but you are more important than you know. Her body froze. The words stabbed into her mind. Dangerous. Impossible. She wanted to reject them. But her heart whispered otherwise. Her toes still hung at the edge. The deep pit below still called to her. But now another voice called too. His voice. The human lowered his weapon completely and set it on the ground. Slowly, carefully, he took another step forward. His movements were gentle, like one might approach a wounded animal. I will not force you, he said softly. If you want to fall, I cannot stop you. But if you stay, if you step back, then maybe, just maybe, there is still a future waiting. Her eyes widened. No human had ever spoken to her like this. No human had ever cared. She searched his face for a lie, for a crack, for cruelty. But she found none. Her legs shook. Her breath came fast. The storm inside her was louder than the wind. She turned her face away, staring again into the black abyss below. It promised peace. But peace was empty. Peace was nothing. Then she remembered his words. Not the end. Not yet. Her foot pulled back, just slightly. She hated herself for it. She hated him for making her doubt. But still, she moved. Her hands clenched. Her body trembling, but she did not fall. She stepped back. The human's shoulders eased just a little. Relief flickered in his eyes, but he stayed quiet, letting her choice be her own. For the first time since the firestorm, the alien girl did not move toward death. She moved away, and in that silence, in that fragile moment, something new began. The girl's breath came in sharp, quick gasps. Her body trembled, but she was no longer standing at the edge. The human had not touched her, not forced her. His words alone had pulled her back. Still, her heart was torn. Her eyes narrowed as she studied him. The scars on his face, the weight in his eyes. He looked strong but also tired, like someone who had carried too much for too long. She hated him for being human, yet she could not deny the strange force in his voice. Silence stretched between them. Only the wind moved, howling through the broken tower. Finally she spoke, her tone sharp as broken glass. You say I am not nothing. You say my story is not over. But do you even know what my story is? The human's lips pressed together, but he shook his head. No, I don't know it, not yet. Her eyes burned. Then let me tell you. She turned away from him, her gaze falling on the ruins below. Her voice was low, heavy, like a blade dragged across stone. This city. It was once beautiful. We called it Sharakel, the heart of my people. Our towers touched the clouds, our gardens floated in the air, and music filled every street. My people were proud, strong. We thought no one could break us. Her hands tightened into fists. The memories cut deep. Then the sky burned, ships came, not ours. The ground shook with thunder, fire rained from above, and the music turned to screams. The human listened, his eyes steady on her, but he did not interrupt. Her voice grew sharper, trembling with rage and sorrow. My father was a warrior. He told us to run while he stood to fight. I never saw him again. My mother held my hand as the buildings fell. She told me to keep going no matter what. But the fire found us. She pushed me out of the flames. She did not come with me. Her throat tightened. The words almost broke her. She closed her eyes, but tears still escaped. I ran. I hid. I watched from the shadows as my people died. Ships fell from the sky, towers collapsed, and then silence. Only smoke. Only ash, only bones. Her knees weakened, but she forced herself to stand tall. I was the last. Maybe others lived, but I never found them. I searched the ruins, I called out. No one answered. For days, for weeks, only silence answered me. Do you know what it is like, human? To walk through the bones of your world? To be the only heartbeat in a graveyard? The man's eyes darkened, but still he did not speak. The girl's chest heaved. Her voice dropped into a whisper. That is my story. That is why I came to this tower. I wanted to end it because there is nothing left, nothing worth living for. The wind carried her words into the emptiness. For a long moment, there was only silence again. Then the human stepped forward, slow and careful, until he stood a little closer than before. His face was calm, but his eyes burned with quiet fire. You think I don't understand, he said softly. But I do. I know what it is like to lose everything. She looked at him sharply, ready to argue, ready to spit her hatred at him, but his voice was steady, heavy with truth. My world was not destroyed like yours. But war took it from me all the same. I fought on worlds you've never seen. I buried friends in the dirt of foreign planets. I carried brothers on my shoulders, only to lay them in graves. I heard the cries of children who would never see their homes again, and every night I asked myself if it was worth it. Every night I wanted to stop. Her anger faltered. His words were raw, real, not lies, not tricks. He took another step, closer, his voice quiet but strong. But I learned something. As long as I kept breathing, as long as I kept walking, there was still a chance, not for me, sometimes for others. A chance to protect, to save, to make sure the dead were not forgotten. His eyes locked with hers. That is why I stopped you. Because if you fall, then your people truly die. But if you stand, if you live, then their memory lives too. You carry them in you. You are not nothing. You are the last voice of Sharakel. Her lips trembled. The words cut into her heart like fire. But not the fire that burned her home. A different fire, one that refused to die. She wanted to scream at him, to tell him he was wrong. But deep, inside, a part of her, the part that had survived flames and silence, whispered that maybe he was right. Her voice shook as she whispered back, And what if I can't carry it? What if it is too heavy? The human's jaw tightened. His reply was simple. Then let me carry it with you. For a moment, her breath caught. The storm around them seemed to fade, and only his words remained. She turned to face him fully, her eyes searching his face, looking for lies, for cruelty, for the monster she believed all humans to be. But she found none. For the first time since the fall of her world, she felt something strange, something dangerous. Hope, the alien girl, stood frozen. Her chest rose and fell as if she had just run miles, but she hadn't moved an inch. The man's words, "Then let me carry it with you," echoed in her head like a bell that would not stop ringing. She wanted to hate him. She wanted to tell him he was wrong, that no human could understand her pain, her loss. But something in his tone refused to let her. His voice had not been the command of a soldier. It had not been the mockery of an enemy. It was something else, something she had not felt since her world burned. It was care. The thought made her flinch. Her eyes narrowed as she stared at him. His body was steady, but his eyes, those strange, human eyes, were heavy with something she couldn't explain. They were like mirrors of pain, yet still lit with fire. Finally, she found her voice. It came out as a whisper, soft but sharp. You speak as if you know me, as if you can feel what I feel, but you can't. You are human, and humans—" Her words cracked into silence. She could not finish. The man stepped closer, slow and careful as though she might break like glass. His boots pressed against the broken stone, each step deliberate, never rushing. When he spoke again, his voice was low, but there was strength in it, a strength that seemed to push back against the storm itself. "Maybe I cannot feel exactly what you feel," he admitted, "but I know what it means to lose. I know what it means to want to let go. And I know one truth that matters more than the pain." The girl's lips parted slightly. "And what truth is that?" His gaze locked with hers. His answer came like a blade. That if you fall now, if you give up, then the ones who died, they die again. They die forever, because no one will remember them. No one will carry them forward. You are their last voice, their last fire. If you end here, then they end with you. Her body shook. Her heart thundered against her chest. She wanted to scream at him, to deny it, but the words pierced her soul. The faces of her mother, her father, her people flashed in her mind, their smiles, their laughter, their final moments. And for the first time, she felt fear, not of dying. She had been ready to die, but of betraying them, by letting their memory fall into silence. Her voice trembled. "You think I am strong enough to carry them? To carry a whole world?" The man's jaw tightened. He nodded once, firm. "Yes, because you already have. You survived when no one else did. That makes you stronger than you know." Her breath caught. The words wrapped around her heart like chains, but chains that held her from falling, not chains that trapped her. She shook her head. "No, you don't understand. I don't feel strong. I feel empty." He lowered his weapon completely, laying it on the broken stone between them. Then he placed his hand over his own chest. "I feel empty too," he said quietly. "But emptiness can be filled with memory, with purpose, with the promise that the dead will not vanish if we live. For them." The girl stared at him, her throat tight. Every word hit her harder than any weapon ever had. Her knees weakened and she sank slightly, her hand clutching the edge of the tower wall. She whispered, more to herself than to him, "I don't know if I can. I don't know if I want to." The human's voice cut through her doubt. "You don't need to want it now, you just need to take one step back from the edge. Not for me, not for you, for them." Her breath shook. The abyss below still called, dark and endless. But his words stood like a light against the dark. Her feet moved. Not forward, back. One small step, stone scraping under her heel. The human's shoulders eased, his body relaxing, but his eyes never left hers. He did not smile, not yet. He knew the battle was not won. The girl's voice broke, raw and filled with pain. Why are you doing this? Why do you care if I live or die? I am your enemy. For the first time, the man's expression softened. He looked not like a soldier, but like a man who had carried sorrow too long. His answer was quiet. Because once someone stopped me when I stood on an edge like this. They told me the same words I am telling you now, that my story was not finished, that I could still choose. If they hadn't, I would not be here. And now, I give those words to you. Her eyes widened. She felt her chest tighten again, but not from despair, from something new, something she did not want to admit. Hope. The storm roared around them. The tower groaned under its weight. But in that moment, in the eye of destruction, she stood no longer at the edge. She stood with the echo of his words inside her, holding her steady. And though she could not yet say it, though she could not yet believe it fully, she felt the first crack in the wall of her despair. The human's words had begun to reach her. The storm had quieted inside her for a moment, but only for a moment. The human's words lingered in her chest like burning coals. She had stepped back from the edge, but she was not safe, not from herself and not from him. Her dark eyes fixed on him with sharp fire. She wanted to believe him. Some part of her deep inside wanted to cling to those words of hope, but another part, the larger, louder part, still bled with rage. Her voice cut through the air like a blade. You speak of carrying memory. You speak of hope. But do you forget who you are? The man did not answer. He waited, silent. Her hands shook as she pointed at him, her words spilling like venom. You are human. Your kind brought war to us. Your kind burned my sky. Your kind destroyed Sharakel. And now you stand here pretending to be savior? The human's eyes darkened, but he did not flinch. His voice, when it came, was steady. Yes, I am human, and I will not deny what humans have done, but I am not every soldier. I am not every warlord. You judge me for their crimes before you even know me. Her laughter was bitter, raw. Not know you? I don't need to know you. I saw the fire. I saw the death. I saw humans laughing while my people screamed. His jaw tightened. The air between them grew heavy. And I saw humans die trying to stop the war. I saw humans turn their guns not on your people but on their own leaders because they refused to kill innocents. I buried them myself. Would you call them monsters too? The girl froze. She had never heard this before. Never imagined humans would fight their own kind to protect others. The thought cracked her certainty, but only slightly. Her voice trembled, half in fury, half in pain. It doesn't matter. The war took everything from me. I cannot forgive. Not you. Not any human. The man took one careful step closer, his face hard but not cruel. His words struck like thunder. Then hate me. Hate me if you must. But hate is not enough to end your story. Hate is a cage, not a weapon. If you live only for anger, you are still a prisoner of the war that stole everything from you. Her breath caught. She wanted to scream, to fight, but the truth in his words burned her more deeply than fire. She spat the only question left in her. And what do you live for, human? If not hate? If not revenge? Tell me, why are you even here? His gaze held, hers, unflinching. For a long moment the wind roared, filling the silence. Then he answered, I live for choice. The choice to protect instead of destroy. The choice to fight for life instead of war. The choice to prove that humans can be more than monsters. The girl's eyes widened. His words carried no hesitation, no doubt. He believed them. He lived them. And that belief struck her like lightning. Her hands trembled. Her voice broke. You think words can change what has been done? My people are still gone. My world is still dead. The man's reply was quiet but fierce. No words can bring back the dead, but words can keep the living from joining them. Words can build what war tried to erase. You think it is weakness, but it is the only power we have left. She turned away sharply, her body shaking. You sound like a fool. Maybe, he said, his tone even. But a fool who keeps walking lives longer than the wise who give up. The girl's lips pressed tight. Her anger was not gone, but it was cracked, shaken. She hated that his voice made her doubt. She hated that his eyes did not look like the eyes of the enemy she imagined. Her fists clenched. I still don't trust you. The man gave a slow nod. You don't have to. Trust is not given in a moment, it is earned. And I will earn it. Not with promises, not with lies, but with what I choose to do. Silence fell again. The storm above growled, lightning flashing in the distance. But between them, something else stirred. Not peace, not yet, but a strange, dangerous understanding. The girl stepped away from the wall. She was no longer at the edge, but she was still far from safety. Her voice was softer now, though still sharp. If you fail me, if you betray me, I will not hesitate to finish what I began. The man's answer was steady, without fear. Then you will know your choice was right. Because if I betray you, I deserve no better. Her eyes narrowed, searching him once more for cracks, for lies, for the monster she wanted him to be. But again she found none. And that was what frightened her most. The storm outside raged, but the storm inside her was worse. The girl stood a few steps away from the edge now, her body tense, her fists clenched. Her eyes burned with suspicion, but also confusion. The human had stopped her from ending it all. He had spoken words that pierced deeper than any weapon, and now, standing before him, she felt cornered not by force, but by truth. She glared at him. You speak of choice, of trust, of carrying memory. But why are you really here, human? Soldiers do not wander ruins to save strangers. So tell me, what do you want from me? The man did not answer immediately. He looked down at the cracked stones beneath his boots, then raised his gaze back to her. His eyes, calm yet burdened, met hers with weight. I came here for you, he said. Her chest tightened. She stepped back instinctively. For me? That makes no sense. I am no one, just a broken shadow of a dead world. His voice was steady, but there was urgency hidden beneath. You are not no one. You are the last witness of Sharakel. But more than that, you carry something inside you, something even you do not realize. Her heart raced. Fear and anger rose together. Do not speak riddles. Say what you mean. The man nodded slowly. His jaw clenched as though every word carried danger. Before the war reached this city, your people created something. A vault of knowledge, codes, history, science, art. Everything they were, everything they had built. But the vault was locked. Only one could open it. Her breath caught. The elders spoke of the great archive, she whispered. Half to herself, she remembered her mother's stories, of a treasure hidden not of gold but of memory. But she had thought it was legend, a tale for children. Her eyes snapped back to him. You think I can open it? He nodded. Not think. I know. Your mother was one of the keepers. The code was bound to her bloodline. You are the last. The key lives in you. Her mind spun. The weight of his words crushed her chest. She had lived thinking she was useless, a survivor by mistake. But now, he told her she was the lock, the final link to her people's entire history. Her voice broke. No, that is impossible. I am nothing. I cannot even carry myself. How could I carry a whole world's memory? The human's eyes burned, with fire. Because you must. Because if that archive is lost, then everything your people were, everything they lived for, dies forever. You are their last chance. The girl's knees weakened. She gripped the wall of the tower, her breath sharp and shallow. The weight pressed on her like the sky itself. She turned away, shaking her head. This is a trick. A lie to keep me alive. You want me for your human war? The man's voice was fierce, almost breaking for the first time. No, this is not about war. This is about memory, about truth. If I wanted you as a weapon, I would have chained you already. But I stand here with empty hands because I believe in you. Not as a soldier, not as a tool, as the last voice of your people. Her chest burned. The storm outside seemed to echo, her heartbeat lightning cracking through the sky. Her whisper was almost lost in the thunder. Why me? Why not someone stronger, braver, wiser? The man stepped closer, his eyes never leaving hers. His voice dropped, low and heavy. Because the strongest are not always the ones who fight with blades. The bravest are not the ones who rush into war. Sometimes the strongest are those who simply keep walking when the world tells them to fall. You survived the fire. You endured the silence. That alone makes you worthy. She closed her eyes tight, but tears still forced their way out. She hated them, hated that his words made her feel. When she spoke again, her voice trembled. If what you say is true, then I am carrying more than I ever asked for, and I do not know if I want it. The man nodded slowly. I know. Choice is heavy, but you have one right here, right now. You can step back into despair, or you can step forward and carry them with you. I cannot choose for you, but I can walk beside you if you let me. Her hands trembled. Her whole body trembled. She felt as though the tower beneath her was crumbling, but maybe, just maybe, something new was being built inside her. The girl looked at him again, truly looked. She saw not just a human soldier, not just an enemy. She saw someone who had lost, who had suffered, yet still chose to stand. Someone who had come not to take, but to give. The abyss no longer called as loudly. Another voice called louder now. Her own. A whisper left her lips. Fragile but real. If I carry this, if I choose to live, then you will not leave me. The man's reply was firm, unshaken. No. I will walk with you until the end. Her eyes locked with his. For the first time, she believed him. The storm howled. The tower groaned. But in that broken city, in the ashes of Sharakel, something new was born. Not just survival, a mission. The girl's hand still shook, though she tried to hide it. The man's words had cut her deeply, shaping a truth she had never known. The great archive, her mother's bloodline, the key inside her. If what he said was real, then she was more than a broken survivor. She was the last voice of her people. But with every beat of her heart came another thought, darker, sharper. What if this is a lie? What if he only wants to use me? Her eyes narrowed. Suspicion rose again like smoke after a fire refuses to die. She took a step back, her body tense, ready to spring. You speak well, human, she said coldly. Too well. You tell me I am the key, that I am important, that you came for me. But how do I know this is not another trick? How do I know you will not chain me once I follow you? The man did not move. His eyes met hers with calm steadiness. You don't. Not yet. Her heart skipped. She had expected him to argue, to promise her false safety, to wrap her in more sweet words, but instead he admitted the truth. Trust was not there, not yet. Her voice hardened. Then why should I walk with you at all? He bent slowly, picked up his weapon from the ground, and then, without a word, set it back down again. He pushed it across the stone floor toward her with the tip of his boot. Her eyes widened. Because if you do not trust me, he said, then hold my weapon. Keep it until you do. If I betray you, strike me down with it. If I lie, end me. That is my proof. Her hand hovered above the weapon, her silver fingers trembling. She did not pick it up yet. The weight of it frightened her, not because she feared the weapon itself, but because of what it meant. Her voice dropped into a whisper. You would give your life into my hands? Yes. His answer came without hesitation. Silence pressed between them. The storm outside roared, thunder rolling like distant drums of war. But in the ruined tower there was only the pounding of her heart. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe this strange human who spoke with honesty instead of commands, who offered weakness instead of force. But belief was dangerous. Belief could break her again. Her eyes narrowed, suspicion burning. You speak of choice, of walking with me. But tell me this. If the archive is opened, who will it serve? My people, or your human leaders? The man's face grew hard. The archive belongs to your people, not to mine. If humans try to take it, I will fight them myself. I am here to protect it, not to claim it. She studied him carefully, searching his face for cracks, for lies. His words carried weight, but could she trust the heart behind them? You would fight your own kind for me, she asked. I already have, he said. Her breath caught. For a moment, her suspicion faltered. She saw in his eyes the shadows of battle, the ghosts of choices that had left him scarred. He was not boasting. He was confessing. But still, fear clung to her like chains. She stepped closer to him, her gaze sharp and cold. If I follow you, I risk everything. If you betray me, I lose not only myself but my people forever. Can you swear you will not betray me? The man's eyes locked with hers and his voice came firm, unshaken. No, I will not swear. Swears are easy to break. Instead, I will show you. Not with words, but with every step beside you. Judge me by my actions, not my promises. Her lips parted. For a heartbeat, she felt the wall of mistrust inside her crack. He did not beg for trust. He did not demand it. He offered proof through choice, through action. Her fingers curled into fists. She turned away, her voice sharp but quieter. Then I will watch you, human, every step, every word. If you show even one sign of betrayal, I will not hesitate. Do you understand? Yes, he said. She faced him again. The weapon lay between them, still untouched. Her hand hovered once more, then pulled away. No, she whispered. I will not take it. Not yet. If you want my trust, you will carry your own burden. I will not protect you from yourself. The man inclined his head, accepting her answer. His face remained calm, but in his eyes there was a flicker of respect. They stood in silence, the storm howling around them, two enemies bound not by trust, but by fragile necessity. For the first time since her world had burned, the girl had not chosen death, but she had not chosen him either. She walked on a thin line between belief and betrayal, her heart torn by fear and hope alike. And the human knew this was only the beginning, because the greatest battles were not always fought with weapons. Sometimes the fiercest war lived inside the heart,